Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is South Pattaya Road, and across the road there, when we can get past all this traffic, is Macallan Insurance Brokers. Now in the thumbnail it said about if you have an accident or anything or whatever, who pays? Now this is what we're going to find out. It depends on your insurance, and there's all different types, from like health to motorbike to car to accident and all sorts. Now that is Big C South up there, that sign, and this is looking down toward Pattaya City. And now we're going to go in. I'm going to meet Jack, and he'll tell you everything. Complete expert. Hi, come to see Jack Levy. Okay. Hi. Yes.
Hi.
How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I'm fine, thanks.
Right. Okay. Very quiet in here, which is okay.
If you want to see
Yeah.
probably work.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Oh, got a coffee?
Are you having one?
Yeah, I only got in 10 minutes ago.
Did you?
We're busy.
You're busy. Let me just ask. The name Macallan Insurance. That's not your name, is it?
That's not my name. It's the name of my favourite whiskey.
Is it really?
It is really. Would you like some? I've got some here.
No, it's all right. Not when we're working.
So many people have asked that, and they says, "Oh, I'd like to try that." Just pull out the bottle. And if I won't drink it alone, but if someone says they'll have one, I'll have one with them, or two.
No, not today. Well, how long have you been here?
Including today.
Including today, how long?
32 and a half years.
How many?
32
32 and a half years.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
Seen a few changes.
Oh my God, haven't you? I mean, the first time I came was 1999, so that's 22 years ago. So you have been here longer, 10 years longer than that.
Yeah, I was coming here before that on holiday,
Yeah,
and I fell in love with the place first time I came here.
of course. Yeah.
In fact, I flew back to Glasgow, and I went into the travel agent who was my customer there. I did insurance in Scotland.
All right. Okay.
And I said, "How soon can you get me back there?"
Well,
And I was coming over with Freddie Laker. Do you remember Skytrain?
I do.
I was coming over with him, and that was brilliant because for him it was all about bums on seats.
Yes.
And he'd fly every Wednesday, and if there was spaces left with 2 weeks to go, the price would come down. I think it was started off at $4.99, and we stayed at Pattaya Park, and at that time there was nothing at Pattaya Park. It was just you go down to the hotel, nothing on either side, but the sliders were there, and they were a big attraction.
Right. I didn't know that was that old. Pattaya Park. No idea.
Mid-80s. So anyway, so my travel agent friend, he'd say, "Jack, the price has come down to, $3.99 or $2.75."
Yeah.
And I was self-employed. I was a broker, and as soon as it got down to a reasonable level, by my standards, okay, I'll go.
Yeah. But the cheapest I ever had back in the day was about £450.
Yeah, I was flying into Dunmawang then, coming over here having a rep looking after us, 250 quid, including breakfast.
Crazy, yeah. And people get addicted. The first time I ever came, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 days later, I booked to come again 3 months later. Everybody does that. They get addicted and then they come back again. And that's what happens. So, anyway.
People either love it or hate it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So let's go on to the subject of the video a little bit, which is about insurance. So you're a broker. Now, why should people use a broker as opposed to going direct to an insurance company? What's the benefit of a broker?
A broker has a larger choice. If you walked into an insurance office, ABC Insurance, then they can only sell you products of ABC.
Yes.
If you come into a broker, we have a myriad of different products that we can sell you. There's 69 insurance companies in Thailand currently. We don't deal with all of them, but we choose the ones that we think are the best to deal with. They may not be the cheapest, but it's not really a question of prices for us. Most of my customers are concerned, expats, they're more bothered about service and getting paid out.
Yes, of course.
There's a number of companies have gone bust in the last few years.
Were they licensed or?
Yeah, they were licensed.
Yeah.
But they made bad decisions.
Right.
Particularly COVID.
Well, that's all finished now, isn't it? Really. So pretty much now.
There were two
everything's
companies.
changed, hasn't it?
There were two companies recently when COVID was getting big.
Yeah.
They were selling policies for $599 or $799 respectively a year, but they were saying, if you catch COVID, we will give you 100,000 back.
I remember, and loads of people claimed that they went bust.
Yeah,
I remember it quite well. Yeah, it was about a year and a half ago.
But what was happening is that somebody had COVID and people were paying them to sneeze on them.
Yeah, I know. I remember. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, now that things are getting back to normal, I mean, they don't need COVID insurance anymore. You don't, when you come onto from on the airplane, they're saying you don't have to have COVID insurance anymore.
Correct.
So that's gone. So we're now talking about a normal situation where everything is pretty much back to normal, and the insurance that you're talking about is things like health and accident insurance and all that sort of thing. Or if you stay here, I mean, obviously, if you come on holiday, you've got holiday insurance, so that's a different thing altogether. But you're really dealing with people who stay here long term, aren't you? And
correct.
Live here and
we are not tourist orientated.
Yes. What's the insurance which people who live here really require most? Is it health insurance, or is it car insurance, or motorbike insurance? I think what's the thing that people need the most?
What people need the most, even though they don't realise it, is health insurance.
Right.
What always amazes me is that people go around without health insurance, but they will happily buy car insurance or house insurance.
Yes.
But the most important thing that they have is their health.
Right.
And if they have to go into a hospital now, Thailand used to be fairly cheap, but the prices are going up.
Yeah, absolutely, they are. Yes. Yeah. So as far as like health insurance is concerned, that depends on your age to a great degree, doesn't it?
Correct. We prefer to deal with just 4 or 5 health insurance companies, and we do a lot of business with these companies. The reason why I've chosen the particular companies that we recommend is one, that they seem to be solid. As far as I'm aware, they are solid. I've dealt with them a long time, and they guarantee your cover, even though it says lifetime, up to age 99 currently.
Right, okay.
But that is under review just now, and it may be extended. But that is a legal thing.
Right.
It's not an insurance thing. They can't actually insure people who are 100.
Right.
I have clients who are in their 80s now.
Oh, right. Okay.
And don't forget, I've been here 30 years doing this.
Yes, of course you have. That's right.
So I have clients in their 80s, but we still have 12, 15 years to sort it out.
Yeah. So I mean, my average viewers are probably in the 50s, I would think. So if you're in your 50s and you're thinking of retiring and coming to live here, then you would need health insurance. Now, I mean, what's if your average sort of size and weight and health and everything just sort of normal, no preconditions and all that, just normal. What would it cost you to have health insurance for a year?
It depends on the options that you go, but you're probably looking 45 or 50,000 baht. But then you have the option of taking a deductible, which means that you are responsible for the first amount of money per year.
Yeah.
Or a case depending on which one we go for.
Yes.
Also, you could take a policy that covers inpatient only and not
Yes.
take out outpatients.
Right, that makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah.
Because outpatients is generally, but not always, a smaller bill or a relatively small bill, and inpatient can run into millions.
Of course it can.
When I came here originally, £300,000 was a huge bill, and we're going, what's going to reach £300,000? Now, I broke my leg 3 years ago, and the bill was £385,000.
Right.
But we are getting more and more bills now of 2 million, 2.5 million, and it's going up. We recommend people to look at 3 million as a minimum,
Really?
3 million per confinement, 3 million per individual problem.
Right.
And we say 5 million is probably better.
Right.
And the difference in price between 3 million and 5 million is not huge.
Yeah.
Because currently the chances of you exceeding 3 million per confinement is not great.
Right.
So the sort of premiums go like that as you take out more, because in my 30 odd years here, we've only exceeded 5 million 3 times.
Right.
And we've not exceeded 10 million at all, even though I have heard of cases through other brokers.
What does it cost for your average hospital stay for one night? What does it cost?
That's not an easy question to answer. It's going to be a convoluted answer. If you
Okay.
go in with insurance,
Yes.
the insurance company have already agreed the price
Right.
with the hospital
Okay.
that they can charge.
Yeah.
If you go in as an individual
Yes.
and you're hurting
Yes.
and you've got no insurance, they will ask for your Visa card and they will charge you what
whatever
they
they
like.
Yeah.
If you're American, they charge you more because you're used to it. Seriously.
Yes, of course.
There's,
of course. Yeah.
there's different prices. The hospitals actually deny it, but we have proved beyond a shadow of a doubt
Yeah.
that Thais get charged one scale, people
Yeah.
with insurance get charged another scale,
Yeah.
people without insurance get charged another scale,
Well, isn't that-
and
that
Americans,
Americans get charged the most
yeah,
because they're used to the
Because
high
they're used to it,
high
yeah.
cost of living. That's the way it is in Thailand. We live here, we know that.
Yes.
That's the way they are. Yeah.
correct.
What can you say? But so, and the other thing was, if you have an accident in a car or a motorbike, what sort of insurance do you need for that?
Well, let's talk about what insurance you need for a car. First of all, you need to have a valid driving license.
Yes.
And if you don't have a valid driving license, as far as the insurance company is concerned, then the insurance is void.
Right.
Now, the law of the land says you must have a Thai or international. So if you get involved in an accident and the police get involved, they ask for your driving license. If it's not Thai or international, they can fine you up to 400 baht.
Yeah.
But maybe you've got a British license or
Yes.
an American license, or
Yeah.
as long as it's valid, the
Yeah.
insurance company will look after the claim.
Well, they will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, most of them will. There's a few that think they can stick to Thai International and say we're not going to pay it. But
Right.
I don't deal with any of those companies, and I have argued it with them already.
Well, that's one of the benefits of a broker, isn't it? Because you're using a broker, you can intervene and you can sort
Actually,
things out of that. Can't you?
That's one of the other advantages of having a broker, is that my pay, the little bit of pay that I actually get, comes from the people that we insure. It doesn't come from the insurance companies. So yeah, I do intervene and I do help, or my company does, because I've got some very, very good staff here.
Yeah.
A prime example was a Thai girl who works in a restaurant, and I do the group scheme for the restaurant. And at 2 a.m. she had an accident on a motorbike.
Okay.
The insurance company said, well, the doctor said she's been drinking.
Oh,
The police said she's been drinking.
Okay.
I went, oh crap, sorry. So anyway, I spoke with the owner, and then he said, look, she had been drinking, so they're not going to pay. I said, can I see the police report? There was nothing on it about drinking.
Really?
They failed to take a blood test, and in the hospital they failed to do a blood test also, and she wasn't breathalyzed.
Wow.
And so even though they'd already given up on the claim, we went back and said, show us your evidence. And they hummed and they hard, and they argued, and they said, but the doctor says she's been drinking. I said, she may have been drinking, but maybe she only had one. And they had to pay.
Right. Now, if you hadn't had a broker, you'd have just been...
Yeah.
That would have gone, that claim.
Yeah, most people sort of look at people that are in positions of power and say they must know what they're doing.
And you have different levels, obviously, of insurance, car insurance, motorbike insurance, all that. You have, for accidents and things like that, you have different levels as well.
Right. Everybody should have the road tax, and with that they get insurance. It's called compulsory third-party insurance. Excuse me.
Yes.
It costs for a car about 600 and something baht, and for a motorbike 100 and odd baht, and it's about that worthless. Why it came into being in the 1990s, quite early, it was brought out so that the government had money to pay for the people who were victims of hit and run.
Oh, really?
That was the idea behind it. I'm not actually exactly sure what they used the money for, but that was the raison d'etre.
Yeah.
But it's very, very small coverage. Maximum payout I've ever seen is 80,000 bahts, but it's normally 50 or 30 or there or thereabouts. And it only covers people. It does not cover vehicles.
Right.
So if you're riding your motorbike and you crash into a Porsche or something, you're not covered.
Right.
And it's always your fault, especially if you've got no insurance.
Yeah.
If you have insurance, there has been a switch in insurance over the years where 30 years ago it was if an expat was involved in a car crash, but if the expat wasn't here it wouldn't have happened, so it must be his fault.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But that's changed. That's changed. That's an oxymoron, by the way. Thailand.
It is indeed.
But that's changed now because the insurance companies have realised that even if they're paying for the expat, it's coming out of their money. So we've been able to change that. Changed it even more is the cameras in cars.
Oh yeah, of course.
And
Cams,
my wife was driving, and a car came up the inside that had previously been stopped, and she turned left, but the car had been stopped, and it goes, no, it wasn't. I've been going all the time, she just never saw me, but we had the camera.
Right, yeah, makes it, and they actually also take account of the camera. I mean,
oh yes,
that works. It's worth having one.
Yeah, that's why the insurance companies give a discount for people that have a camera in their car.
Really? I didn't know that.
Only 5%.
Yeah.
Well, 5%. It's 5%.
Yeah, of course.
And they give it because it may save them a payout.
Right. Yeah.
So there's Class 1 insurance, Class 2 and Class 3. Class 1 is fully comprehensive, as we understand it.
Yeah.
Class 2 is third-party fire and theft.
Yeah.
And Class 3 is liability only. Then you can, if you have a new car, or a fairly new car up to 4 years old, you can opt to have dealer garage, which costs more, which means your car goes into the dealer garage, Toyota or Nissan or whatever, rather than going into a contract garage for the insurance company.
So that is the cost of repairing the vehicle. What about the person? Like if you've got a motorbike and you hit someone, you have a car accident. You're not so much worried about the motorbike. What about you? Are you covered?
A general motorbike insurance covers 50,000 baht for the driver and 50,000 baht for accident medical expenses.
Right, 50,000 baht
for the passenger. Not much. So they should take out health insurance or personal accident insurance
as
a top-up.
So if you're concerned about having an accident and going to hospital, having to pay the hospital bill, but you don't care about the motorbike because they're not that expensive anyway. Then you really need personal accident insurance. Is what
you can get just a personal accident insurance. It's a lot cheaper than health insurance.
Yes.
But it's better than nothing.
Yeah, and so you have a motorbike accident or even a car, but motorbike you're more likely to get injured.
Yeah.
Then forget the motorbike because it might be an old and you might not care about it, but you yourself might get hit with a massive bill in the hospital. That's what you need to cover, isn't it?
That's correct.
Yeah, right. Well, that's quite an important thing. I think more people should do that. If you're worried about money and you don't care too much about repairing the motorbike or whatever, you're more concerned about your own personal health and taking care in the hospital and not having to pay a massive hospital bill. Good thing, personal accident insurance. So you were talking before about the new laws on cannabis and things like that.
It's not so much a new law because the law's probably going to come into existence anyway.
Yeah.
But just as a warning to people who think they can take this and not worry about it, if, for example, you broke your leg and you went to hospital and they found a trace of cannabis or one of these leaves that you can buy in one of these shops, you will find that having narcotics in your body is a general exclusion. The insurance company do not have to pay.
Right, so they can get out of it if that's the case. Same with alcohol, isn't it?
I'm not so sure. Yeah, the same as alcohol. I'm not so sure if they can get out of it is the correct way to put it. They're just following their rules.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I suppose you're right, really.
Yeah. But it's the same as alcohol. But they have to take a blood test, and if there's no blood test, I can argue it.
Yeah.
Like I'll argue many things. The same with driving a car or a motorbike.
Yeah.
If you have an accident and if you are tested and you have a trace of narcotics, it's actually a general exclusion for narcotics in your blood, and it can stay there for up to 2 weeks after you've had it. Wow. So I've been told. You may have had this 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They can get out of it, as you say.
Yeah.
You just have to be careful and have to be aware.
So, we'll wrap it up then. The last thing is, if there's people on a limited budget and there's always, they have to sort of think about what's the most important insurance that they can afford. And then, what would that be? Would that be personal accident, or would that be a health?
Personal accidents is fine as long as you don't get sick.
Yes.
And you can get sick by being bitten by the wrong mosquito.
Yes.
And end up with 150,000 baht bill.
Yes. You get dengue fever or something.
Yeah. There is always the government hospitals.
Right. Yes.
The one on Soy Bacau is quite nice. Queen Sirikit is quite excellent, but it's a long way to go if you're having a heart attack.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Right, fine. So,
Macallan tries hard. I am not perfect.
No.
None of the girls here are perfect, but we try to do a perfect job for our clients if we can.
Well, I can see. I mean, you're obviously highly successful. I mean, I only have to look at the office, which I videoed on the way in, so people saw it.
That's nice of you. Yeah, we cannot please all the people, and sometimes there's claims where I think they should pay, but if they don't pay, they have to prove to me that they don't have to pay. We do actually a lot of business with car insurance, with house insurance, with hotel insurance, with very big we insure some very big companies here, and health insurance. And if there's a claim going on, if it's being denied, and I think it should be paid, they have to prove, not to the customer, but to me.
Right. You're fighting for the customer, really, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you do.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
And it's taking up more and more of my time.
Yeah, of course.
But the girls are very good at sales. They understand their job.
Yeah, great. Okay.
I love it, by the way. I love my job.
Yeah, you love your job.
I
Well, that's
love
a
my
good
job.
thing.
It gives me a reason to wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
come in here, smile.
Well, we're lucky because I love my job too. So.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
I shall.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
It has been a pleasure indeed. It has.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Have you got insurance?
The obvious question. Yeah. We'll talk about that afterwards when I switch the camera off.
Okay.
Okay, Jack. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So guys, here are all the contact details. Just pause the video so if you want to write anything down. I would think that Jack's company is probably the most respected in the whole of Pattaya. So guys, please subscribe and like and share and ring the bell, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was helpful. See you on the next one.